Good evening, everyone. With great pleasure, I welcome all of you to 15th Foreign Grad webinar by a distinguished scholar, Ms. Arsh Dadwal. She is going to share her Global Ambassador Scholarship application journey. I am Dhananjay Kumar, Achieving Scholar 2019-20 batch, today moderating this session. Today's webinar is a part of new initiative called Scholar Series. For this series, we will be inviting scholars from around the world to create awareness about scholarships, university applications, opportunities for young people amongst prospective applicants. With this, I invite Arsh Dadwal on the Foreign Guide platform. She is a global ambassador scholar and presently pursuing Masters in Public Policy with specialization in regional, environmental, and sustainable development from KDI School, South Korea. She was recently selected for second cohort of Asia Young Activist Research Fellowship organized by Seoul Youth Hub and Seoul Institute, where she would be focusing her research on waste management in India. She achieved many milestones at such a young age, and I would like to request her to share some of the highlight of your journey with our viewers. So welcome us.
Thank you so much, Dhananjay. That was a very nice introduction.
So can you share your journey with our viewers?
Right, sure. So my journey so far has been amazing. It's been a whole year since I arrived here in South Korea. And this country and the school, they have been nothing but supportive and kind to me. And for the highlight, if I was to share with you, definitely the learning experience in the diverse setup, because my school stands for diversity. The idea is to bring the world together, to design and think and develop together. It exposed me to a myriad of cultures and perspectives and opinions, and of course it added to my understanding. And I think I'm a different individual, I'm a more evolved individual. My personality and my character definitely have evolved with the school and with this country. And of course, I think a very major part of my journey remains the pandemic that we have right now going, very unfortunate. But to be present in a country which had one of the best responses around the world, I think it added to a lot more to my journey as a public policy enthusiast, because the area that I am specializing in, it's like we are now developing new perspectives, because we are saying that the post pandemic world will be different. So we have to think in that order, we have to think in that direction. And I think being present to have this experience firsthand here definitely helped me to start thinking in that direction already. So apart from that, culturally it was amazing. And of course, in terms of academics, it was really really amazing. And it's a great journey so far. Great journey.
Brilliant. So I'm so happy to have you on my platform because I have scholars from UK, US, Singapore, but even when South Korea has a lot of opportunity, lot of world's best universities, people are very less aware about opportunities and universities in South Korea. And I'm sure when you will be sharing your experience of the scholarship and this university, I'm sure this is going to help a lot of students, lot of aspirants to know opportunity and scholarship in South Korea. So with this, I want to ask about the scholarship. So can you educate our viewers regarding Global Ambassador Scholarship? What is the application procedure, what it contains, what is the monetary value? So it will be great if you will educate about the basic things about this scholarship.
Right, sure. You're very right when you say that, especially Indian students are not very aware about the opportunities that we have here in South Korea, because personally, I wasn't that aware either. I got to know about it through a connection that I had on one of the one of the networking sites. But they pursued the same program here, and I was very interested in pursuing public policy and management. So I think
Yeah, we lost you.
yeah. Oh yeah. Is it better now? I
Yes,
think.
yes, yes.
Okay. Let me start again. Yeah. So I got to know about it through one of the connections that I had, and even I was surprised that South Korea has a variety of scholarships to choose from. So the scholarship that I chose was the Global Ambassador Scholarship, which is offered. It's a flagship scholarship by KDI School of Public Policy and Management, which is my school. But it is one of the many scholarships that the same school offers. So there are different scholarships which go by different eligibilities and different criterias. And for some scholarships they take fresh graduates. For some scholarships they want middle to senior level officials and administrators. For example, in my batch, the same program was pursued by fresh graduates, middle career professionals, um, people from international organizations like UNDP, people from the finance ministry of their countries, people who have no experience whatsoever. They just graduated, and because they are trying to bring together not only not diversity only in terms of culture and ethnicity, but perspectives. Different perspectives and different experiences, different ages also together, which is actually something very new. And I think that really sets the South Korean standard apart, the South Korean design and thinking of and curation of their programs apart, because usually it happens that most of the people in same program come from pretty much the same kind of industry, or same kind of backgrounds, and same kinds of undergraduate degrees. But that wasn't the case here. So it was really different. And I think the Indian community should really know about it. The Indian aspirants should really know about it. So like I said, it was my scholarship, one of the many scholarship that my school offers. And my school is one of the many schools with different kinds of scholarships. So I think the best way to look for these scholarships would be the South Korean embassy website in India. They have a student corner, and you could just go and look it up, if they have anything for your taste and for your calling. And you can always write to them as well. They're very the Korean universities, one thing I really appreciate about them, they're very prompt. When you send them a query, they would be very prompt with their replies. And for my scholarship, if I were to give you more details, you have to write one SOP, which is the statement of purpose. Then you have to get one recommendation. Then there would be one interview session. Sometimes they have two, because sometimes they recommend you for a better scholarship based on your eligibility, and based on the experience that you share with them. And depending on that, they give you your final selection call. And then of course there are other procedures. The After selection, you have to take a few courses online, which actually started happening after my batch. So this year they started it, so to better equip you to take the core courses that you would be pursuing once you arrive. And so they basically help you uh, even before the program actually starts. So I would really appreciate their program design. And because, like I said, because they are calling people with diverse backgrounds and perspectives, they need to bring everybody at par, to an extent, to pursue certain number of courses. So that was really amazing. And if you want me to share any other specific, you
Yeah.
can tell me. I would be
So,
happy to.
what it constitute, like, what is the monetary value of this scholarship? What it
Uh-huh.
contains? Uh, is it a full scholarship or partial scholarship? So, if you will brief about this, I think it will give a clear idea to the viewers.
Sure, sure. So because South Korea is one of the OECD countries, they are the member for the Development Assistance Committee, and they give out a lot of scholarships to the ODAs, the countries which are bound to receive this assistance. So I think for Indian students particularly, they give you 100% scholarship, 100% tuition waiver. The value I would say would be $21,000 in tuition waiver, and apart from that, they give you approximately $1,000 US dollars per month for your stipend and living expense. Um, then of course you have the dormitory, so they deduct some money for insurance and your dormitory, but that is better, there is less trouble for you to make those arrangements. So you just have to come and just focus on your studies and your experience and your time here, and I would say pretty much everything is taken care of, from your insurance, from your alien registration card, from for your visa requirements, everything from your even your medical checkup, everything is taken care of. So like I said, it's a very well curated program, so you would have to worry about nothing. You would just have to
Okay.
come here carefree and start studying.
It means that it's a fully funded scholarship where you
Yeah.
don't have to pay for university, and also for living there you will get stipend of 1,000 US dollar. I think that's more than enough to for a student per month to live there. So that's amazing for people who want to go and pursue their master degree. Uh, Again, I have one question. Is it available for this public policy course only, or is it available for any other course?
Right. So my school, particularly because it's a subsidiary of a think tank. It's actually Asia's top think tank, KDI, Korea Development Institute. So it's a subsidiary, it's an educational subsidiary of KDI. They focus on public policy. So basically, they focus on policy. When I came, that is in the year 2019, they had three courses: Masters in Public Policy, which is my course, then Masters in Development Policy, and Masters in Public Management. Just recently, they introduced another course, which is Masters in Intellectual Property and Development. So these are the four courses that right now the school offers, the master's programs, and then they have PhD. But since we're talking about the master's program, I would focus on that. Um, the scholarship is available for any of the courses that you choose to apply for. You could choose MIPD, MPP, or MDP. The scholarship remains the same, and the even the eligibility criteria for the scholarship remains the same for all the programs.
Okay. So, what was your secret of writing your scholarship application? Like you suggested that you have to write one SOP, statement of purpose, to apply in this scholarship. So, so can you discuss how to approach this SOP regarding this Global Ambassador Scholarship?
Right. I think when it comes to writing any statement of purpose, or any introduction letter, or any letter that I have to write to a university, or even for a job application, I personally like to follow three steps. The first one is to read the brochure. I mean, you really need to understand the program before you apply. You really need to ensure that you are a great fit for this program. You should be convinced yourself, because that's when you start convincing the university that why are you a great fit, right? I think you should first read the brochure in and out in detail. You really need to mark the things that, because of course, especially with the master's program, when we pursue, there are certain electives and certain core subjects we have had done previously. Not everything is new. So you really need to highlight it. Okay, fine, this is something that I'm aware of, and then also highlight the new things that you see, that this is something that I want to learn, right? And I think once you're through, you start writing. You need to convince them that why would you make a great fit. That should be your opening. First, of course, you introduce yourself, and you introduce yourself in a way that you seem like a right fit. And I think another a common mistake that a lot of people do, um, and I also did initially, I would say, is you try to fit everything that you have done in your application, which is practically impossible. And I think it's not very rational. You really need to choose from your experiences. the relevant ones that you want to highlight on your application. Because you're applying for a certain thing, and not everything that you have done so far is, of course, it has shaped your personality and your character so far, but it might not be relevant to your host institution. So you really need to understand your host institution as well, that what they are looking for, and then highlight your relevant experiences. And always specify that what I am also looking forward to. And I have seen that a lot of people use most of their word limit in introducing themselves. They forget to mention that what you are seeking from the program, because you will learn. If you had done everything that they are offering you, you wouldn't have to go, right? So it's very important to tell them that, I want to come because, I can come because I am this, but I want to come because I want to become this. So that is a very important part. You need to tell them that this program has this, that what I am seeking, and that is my calling. And that, I think, is how you should conclude your application. And that's exactly what I did. I was very thorough. I think I took a week just to understand and read the brochure. And the KDI's website is actually very thorough and um, very vast. So, and of course, because it's a subsidiary, you also need to understand the host institution. So I went to KDI as well, the KDI website, and then I went to KDI school. And then, of course, the curriculum, you have to understand the curriculum, because it's very important for you also, because if you make it, you have to, abide by that curriculum. So if it's not something that suits you, I think, yeah, that would be really bad for you later on. So I think that's the how you should approach an application. In my personal opinion, that's how I approach it. And that's exactly what I followed for my SOP here at KDI, and I think it worked.
Oh, so the crux is that first one should educate oneself about university, about the course, and then uh, one should give a brief introduction, give the background, and then connect it with why you want to do this course, your basic research about university, and then you should connect your why you want to do and what will be how you will achieve your future goals. So these three answers, if you will be able to give in your statement of purpose, I think you will be a suitable and ideal candidate for this course. So she already explained how to approach the statement of purpose. Let's move to the next question. So you decided to pursue a master degree from KDI University in South Korea. So why not India, and why KDI University in South Korea particularly?
Right. That is one question that a lot of people have asked me lately, because I've been applying for jobs now. And I always give them the standard answer, and I'm very honest about it. In India, public policy is still an evolving subject. We don't have the niche yet. It's very new. Even the policy schools, if we look at them, most of them are not older than 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
So I think when I decided to pursue public policy, I did not look at Indian schools only, because first, there are not many to look at. And then, even when it comes to accessibility, I understand that why even the monetary assistance that you need is really high, and there are not many scholarships currently being offered, which I completely understand. It's just the common demand supply, explanation to it. They really need to sustain themselves initially, and that. But the main reason that I decided to come to an international school, honestly, I wasn't thinking about just South Korea, but many international schools, was because I was looking for this exposure and engagement to a global community. Because for me, when I think about impact, or when I think about development particularly, I think it starts with inclusion. So I wanted to have that perspective, and I think that perspective I could have only learned by being exposed to different perspectives. And that's why I decided to look for an international university. And then South Korea, it kind of came along. And definitely, I think it was a very wise decision. But I would say that I can answer in the sense that why should people now choose Korea Development Institute, because like I said, their curation is so unique and so flexible in a very unique way that you would come here and you would be exposed to, this diversity, which I like I said, which is not just cultural or ethnic. It's it's based on the age, it's based on the experience. And can you imagine that my batch, the youngest person was 22 and the oldest was 54. And that was something amazing, like you're learning from like generation, like you're just there are so many layers to this program and to this school. And I think yeah, that's why you should come, like if there is somebody who's looking to apply. I particularly came for the global exposure and the niche. And I think, yeah, I pretty much got both the things right. And that's why not India as of now. But maybe, hopefully, by 10 years, we'll have a more evolved idea of public policy.
Okay. So, is there any language barrier in South Korea in terms of education, in terms of, say, social engagement?
Right. Okay. So in term academically, I would say no, because the school is very perceptive. When they, of course, curated this course for internationals, they made sure that the medium of communication would be, of course, English. That's the most common language being spoken. Um, and so they made sure that the professors were also well equipped, with their not just with their course materials, but with their medium of instruction. So the communication. So most of our professors, actually all of our professors, spoke English, good English, and they have time to time the teacher training for them, which I think really, there was no barrier as such. I think academically in like the academic life, but socially, yes, very big barrier. People in Korea don't speak English a lot. They are still, because they are one of the four tigers who have, four tigers of Asia who have retained their language in official use. So that is why, so everything from the name of the shops, from the food that you will buy, from the streets, everything would be in Korean. Um, but I think it was easier for us because when we came in, we had 1 semester of level 1 language training. So after, I think, first semester, it was easier. And then, of course, you make Korean friends here, and then you can always ask for help. And now we have Google Translate. So you manage. So I would say that initially, yes, it could be a problem being exposed to, like a language that you don't have any idea about, with the social engagement especially. But academically, I think you shall be fine. There is no issue, because if the medium of course communication is English, then you would have no problem whatsoever. And you can always learn the language if you're interested in, of course. If and especially if your course is longer, I would advise to everybody who is looking to apply, to make these connections, um, with people who would be they pretty much go to, so there are communities who go to pretty much all the schools, and they enroll international students to learn language on weekend. And it's just not like, you go and you write and you learn. No, they expose you to the culture, they take you to the field visits. And that really helps, because it's very important to understand your surroundings to have the best experience of it. So yeah, but the barrier, yes, it could be a little problematic. Like in
So,
Korean, we say chogum.
yes. So the crux is academically, no, no, there is no issue of a language problem, but definitely in social exchange, there's a language barrier. But I'm sure, like you explained, that first level language, first level training starts from the very first day, and then the lot of engagement with the people will make you ease in some time, and then you become very normal. So with this, can you say that what are the job opportunities after finishing, say, undergraduate degree or master degree in South Korea?
Right. So I would say that the job opportunity strictly depends on your knowledge of the language. Because, like I said, it's one of the Asia's four tigers, which has, retained their language as their official language. And English is still not it's not even like the second language yet. So it depends completely on your knowledge of the language. But yes, of course, if you plan to work with international organizations, there is good opportunity. There is green climate funds and many United Nations offices. And for undergraduate, I think undergraduation after undergraduation, people tend to find work better because undergraduation here is at least 4 years. And if you're coming here for the language for a master's program, it could be a little hard because you are completing a degree which is meant to be done in 2 years in just 10 months of coursework, and then you have to write your dissertation, so it doesn't leave much room for the language learning aspect. But yes, I would say the job opportunity would be higher if you speak at least level 4. But if you don't, it's a little difficult. The prospects are less.
Okay. So is there any restriction also, like that when they are giving you some scholarship, like this Global Ambassador Scholarship? So is there any restrictions also, like you have to go back to India and work there for minimum 1 year or 2 years? Like in Chevening Scholarship, one has to return back to India and work there for 2 years, and then they can apply any part of the world, but at least they have to work for 2 years in India. So is there any some kind of that kind of limitation in Global Ambassador Scholarship?
No, for Global Ambassador Scholarship, no. But yes, I have heard and read at times that there are certain scholarships here which have, the restrictions, the similar restrictions like you just mentioned. But Global Ambassador Scholarship, no, they have no restriction whatsoever. You can choose to stay back. And I think most of the scholarship in Korea are like that. They don't have any restrictions because with South Korea, because of their low birth rate, they are highly dependent on global like basically migrant workers to sustain their economy. So that is why there is a very huge investment in getting a lot of global engagement in the country. So if you are willing to learn the language, I would say that the prospects are really really nice. But and there are hardly any restrictions with the Global Ambassador Scholarship. None. You can just choose to stay back. I'm staying back for a fellowship. And the good thing is that the school is really supportive. Is really supportive. They would introduce you to a lot of opportunities, and they would give you a lot of opportunities in research as well, depending on your interest and your academic performance. So yeah, less restrictions and more opportunities, I would say.
That's great information regarding scholarship and KDI University. So us, it has been lovely chatting with you today. So can you give some final tips to the aspirants? Any application tips to the aspirants?
Yes. Go to the website if you're looking for the scholarship. Make sure that you definitely visit the South Korean embassy website for the India, the consulate in India. And definitely make sure you write to the universities. Feel free to write to the universities. They're very prompt. And connect with the Indians who are already pursuing the master's or PhD programs or even undergraduate. Learn from their experiences. And as far as the application is concerned, make sure that you understand it and relevant experience only. And make sure that you tell them that why you want to come and what are your plans. And I think you should be fine. And yeah, you can always look me up on any of the social media platforms, and I would be more than happy to help you.
Thank you so much, us, for sharing your experience regarding the scholarship, educating the viewers, explaining the procedure, explaining a statement of purpose, and then also telling the viewers that there's so many opportunities in South Korea. There are so many scholarships available in South Korea. There is no language barrier in academics. So it is a golden opportunities for people to look beyond US, UK, and then go and study in South Korea. So thank you very much for sharing your experience and coming on our platform. Uh, I will also request viewers to subscribe our channel so that you don't miss the important information. And with this, I want to thank us once again for coming on the Foreign Grad platform. Want to thank viewers for seeing us, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Good night.
Okay. For having me. Good night, guys. Good night, Dhananjay.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Yes. So we have not